What's up, everybody? It's me, it's PLD.
And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
And I'm Matty Gunner, and this is Class Action.
The most dystopian movie show on the interwebs.
Nice. You went with that one. I like it.
I went with the boring one.
Saying you're boring.
I'm boring.
Okay, well, I think we're all a little boring today. We're all a little, so far it seems like we're a little bit punch drunk. I'm a little tired waking up. You're a little tired, ready to go to sleep. But we're to make this work. I mean, I know I'm tired from staying up. And no, I shouldn't say that. I should say I'm tired. I was about to lie and say I'm tired because I stayed up and watched Andor. But really, I mean, I say it for work. But I did watch Andor, and that tired me out because it is a very emotional episode, and I can't wait to do our Andor recap because
fired me up.
Oh man, no spoilers here. Don't worry about that. But just give Andy Serkis and Stellan Skarsgård all the Emmys. I'm good for it. So.
I think it's probably for sure the best show that's on running right now. That's on streaming right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything better that's going on right now.
That's actively season wise. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
Let's
so.
just be happy that we didn't do Rings of Power versus House of the Dragon versus Andor, because I feel like Rings of Power and House of Dragon may be taking a little bit of a kicking.
Yeah, well, it was pretty close. I mean, House of Dragon was probably pretty close. Actually, Andor went a little House of Dragons this week.
For sure.
So,
there was such a Game of Thrones moment there.
The only point I'll add to it is I want to Andy Serkis him on the mouth.
Apes together strong. I almost wanted him to yell that out at a certain point.
I felt like he did. I kind of wanted to see a clip.
I mean, the shot is exactly the same.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think it probably was a nod to it. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think so too.
I just God, it's so good. It's so good. But we can't talk more about that, or else we would get into. I gotta be honest. Sometimes I miss having a Star Wars show. Every once in a while,
Me too.
like, nice to.
Well, we're gonna bring Scoundrels back for Andor, right?
Well, we can't bring the name back anymore. They'd sell it for a pint of whiskey.
They don't own it. They don't own us.
They sold it for a pint of whiskey and a kiss in the mouth. But that's not the.
That's what you got out of it? A kiss on the mouth?
I think so. I don't even know. I don't even know what I got. I probably got less than that. I probably got like a "you're a good boy" or something like that. Probably because I was drunk as hell. I don't mind. I love those boys.
Great guys.
But anyway, that's not what we're here for today. We're here for our Class Action, where we take two items: actors, movies, franchises, directors, characters, things like that, and put up against each other in a battle to the death. We come up with 5 or 6 custom-made categories. Interesting to see them do battle with these categories. You never know who's going to win. I had never seen one of these films, and so it's interesting to see. I'm very interested to see how it's going to match up against the one film that I had seen quite a few times, and I'm not going to lie, I find it superior. So we'll see how that goes. But we have a couple different games we play nowadays, and you never know. We actually had a meeting. Meeting scheduled, really. We're scheduled to talk to each other about maybe changing things up. Look at that behind the scenes action. Who knows? Maybe we're going to have a changed show by next week. Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe I'm just full of shit. Maybe I'm just full of hot air. You'll never have to come back next week to find out. But this week's show is a show that Matty put forth, I believe, correct?
Yeah, I put it forward for the purpose of it being the 5th of November last weekend, which is a very important holiday over here. And
right.
Of course, V for Vendetta is set all around the 5th of November and the Guy Fawkes imagery and everything. So I thought, hey, if we're doing holidays and seasons, we did Halloween. Let's do one for Guy Fawkes night. Let's do one for November 5th.
I love it. I love the choice because V for Vendetta deserves to be spoken of. Deserves to do battle against whatever movie. I'm excited.
Have you ever read the graphic novel that it's based off of?
I did when I was really a lot younger, and I don't remember a lot of it, to be honest with you. I remember I saw the movie first, but I should reread it again. It's been true. Real quick, so Kelly is saying she can't say. I just want to say hi, guys. Kelly, always good to see you.
What's up, Kelly?
Thanks for popping in. And if you are in the chat, leave that like, leave that subscribe. We are over 300 now. We got 302 subscribers. Leave some comments. Let's get that algorithm going. Let us know what you think should win. But it should be good. Now, you put a V for Vendetta, which I had seen, I have always loved. I've always had a soft spot for. You put it up against the movie Equilibrium. Now, I had never seen this movie before. And I don't even, honestly, the funny thing is when you mentioned it, and then I looked it up, I don't remember even hearing about this movie, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Really?
It was huge when it came out.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a European thing. Maybe Americans in the chat can tell me, because I don't remember this movie barely at all. Like, I was thinking of a totally different movie. I thought it was a Keanu movie or something like that, and I don't know. But it was definitely an interesting movie.
Is that because of its parallels with The Matrix and the fact that The Matrix came out, what, 99? And Equilibrium was 2002?
Yeah, I think it definitely might have been that. I don't know, maybe that was, but I'm not sure what I thought. But I saw, like, oh, this is okay. So Christian Bale, Taye Diggs. Oh, okay, all right. I see you. William Fichtner. Okay, let's see where this is going. But an interesting film nonetheless. But we will get there with the categories.
Film. Man, you're trying so hard, aren't you?
I can tell he's only watched it the once, because normally Paul goes like deep into the themes of movies, and I feel like I'm gonna do a little bit of educating this one, because I feel like Paul may have missed a couple of the points.
I don't know if I missed it more as I just didn't care. I gotta be honest with you. I
was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, though, buddy.
I appreciate that, but I will sink myself. I mean, I do appreciate what it was going for to a degree. I just couldn't tear myself away from the fact that I felt like it was a Matrix wannabe, and it just colored the whole thing for me. And I didn't. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't. I'm talking. I feel like I'm talking shit about it. It wasn't like it's a bad movie or anything. It's just not a. I honestly found it a little bit forgettable overall. There was some good moments to it, some good action sequences. Christian Bale puts on a hell of a performance, but here it is, a spoiler alert ever. We're going 5 categories. We're going to find out if the categories matter, because I feel it's a clear victory, but we're going to find out what the audience thinks and what you guys think. And
I may be here to upset the apple cart.
What the categories think.
It's not going to be as clear as you'd think. I think the categories are kind of lenient for a certain movie.
That's fair. That's very fair. But we'll get there. We'll get with the categories soon. First of all, we have a couple games we like to play. Matty's brought up a new game for us, the IMDb game. But we'll start with our usual game. Yes. What would Ed Harris play? Of course, Ed Harris being the greatest character actor of all time. There's no hyperbole there. We're going to put him into these movies. We recast him. We can take a role that's there, place him in there, or you can write a new role for him, because anytime you add Ed Harris to a movie, it makes any movie better, even Equilibrium. So let's start off. Richard-Erik Jarvi, with your pick for what would Ed Harris play, and I'll let you choose the movie.
I'm gonna sort of rope-a-dope you here, and I'm gonna guess what you picked for Equilibrium for Ed Harris.
Okay.
You want to play?
You can play that, because you're not going to pick this one.
I think you are recasting Angus McFadden.
I am not.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair point.
Although that would have been the easiest choice, because goddamn it. I'm going to say it here. I'm going to say it right here. I'll say it right here before we go any further. I am not a fan of Angus McFadden. In almost any movie. I like him in Braveheart. I think he's okay in Braveheart.
He's great in Braveheart.
What is it?
No, he's great.
What is it that grinds your gears about?
I really don't like. I honestly, I guess it's hard to bring up, because I wish I could tell you why. I don't ever think is anything he does. I don't know if it's just a punchable face. I don't know if it's just the way he speaks. Something about him. I just look at him. I go, bah.
Hey, dude, I get it. I'm the same with the Rolling Stones. I don't know why I don't like them. I just don't like them.
I have nothing against the man. I think he does. He does his job. He really works hard. It's just a personal,
personal vendetta. Is that what it is?
Personal vendetta. I can't even say that. It's not even a vendetta. I don't hate the guy. I just would rather not see him active again. But so that would have made it easy for me. I probably, in a way, and I think that's why I chose not to replace him, because it was just too easy for me. But
yeah,
Starter, what is your pick for Equilibrium then for Ed Harris?
I picked probably one of the best performances in Equilibrium, but I still decided to replace him with Ed Harris, because he can only make it even better. And I would have him as Partridge, Sean Bean's character. I don't want. Wow. I feel like like Ed Harris kind of. You think he'd have that perfect sort of emotionless performance, which he could do very well, but I want him to be the heart, the crux of what starts the unravelment of Christian Bale's John Preston.
I do like that. He does a character. Ed Harris is kind of like Sean Bean. He dies in a lot of movies anyway.
Right.
So you might as well put him in the scene that he dies in because, spoiler alert, I guess. Whoops. But actually, if Sean Bean is in a movie and you don't think he's going to die, I don't know what to tell you anyway at this point.
Dies in everything. He dies in everything.
But Ed Harris actually dies in a lot too, as Jake Yakoveta usually tells me. But I do like that, though. Actually, one I did consider myself. It's a good choice. What about you, Matty? Do you have a choice? Did you?
I am having him again. You guys know I love to put Ed Harris in like minor cameos.
Mm-hmm, you do.
I want him to be the lead sweeper that confronts John Preston about the dog in his trunk.
Oh, the dog. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The one that shows up and like doesn't recognize him, and he's like, "I'm sorry, sir, I didn't recognize you." And he turns around and the dog yelps. He goes, "Sounds like it came from your trunk."
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Ed Harris could sell that perfectly. And then he does the thing. Oh, fuck.
So the only problem with your scenario is if Ed Harris is that guy, the movie's over. Christian Bale's going to die.
Ooh. He's going to shove a VX gas ball in his mouth.
That's right. So what happened?
And the dog would die too.
That's true too. That'd be sad.
Oh no.
Maybe Ed Harris would kill everybody. Then Ed Harris would look at the dog at night, and all of a sudden he becomes the main character, and because the dog awakens his emotions. That's what it is.
Kelly actually has a good point.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dying in movies. Dying in movies it can be glorious. It doesn't have to be
in his contract.
Maybe he likes the death scene, Kelly. You don't know. Have you ever talked to him? Maybe he likes the death scene. It's not just.
If I was Sean Bean's agent, I would put an extra clause when he gets killed. He gets like an extra $2 million or something. Yeah,
something like
he has to.
Has he ever been in like a film series like back to back? Maybe he just doesn't like doing sequels. He's just like, fuck it. I just want to die in the first one.
Perhaps. I don't really remember off the top of my head whether he has or not.
He probably saw Harrison Ford's interview about wanting to die in Star Wars and was like, that's not a bad idea.
Not bad. I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Maybe. I like what you're doing there. I like what you're saying there. All right. How about, I'll go to mine now. The reason why, Jarvi, I knew you weren't going to pick mine is because I didn't replace anybody. I wrote a new character.
There we go.
Okay.
Ed Harris.
That would have been weird if I guessed that one.
Yeah, I would have been I would be like, holy shit, you're looking at my notes, aren't you? What we're gonna do is an equilibrium. Christian Bale's character is married at the beginning, he was married to I don't know the actress's name. I don't even know if she was anyone. Even know, probably not.
I don't think she was.
But it kind of set up the whole thing for him. His wife was taken away because she was a sex offender. He was left with kids and everything else. So what I want to do is I'm going to insert a little bit of emotion, even more emotion, into the somewhat emotionless film. I'm casting Ed Harris as her father.
Oh, I thought you were going to go his father.
I thought that too. Yeah. And I went, no, this is better. I cast him as her father. It's her father whose emotions have already woken up, and he's seeking vengeance against Christian Bale. So he's in the resistance already when William Fichtner tries to bring him in.
I want that movie.
Right?
What happened to that movie?
That is the movie I want to see, right? I think that's a great idea because you have them you have both the actual governmental side and the census and everything else, and you have the interpersonal side where you have to decide, well, Ed Harris wants to kill him, but it's not really truly Christian Bale's fault in a way, the way the emotions are set, the way we're presented it. So
I will say before we get into the categories and everything, there was a lot of stuff cut out of Equilibrium. There was a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor.
Well, I don't know that maybe
to equalize the movie.
Equalize the movie.
God.
Oh, Denzel's going to be in it too, Equalizer? All right, cool. We'll talk about that. I'm sure that I don't know if it would have made the movie better or if it would have made made the movie longer, which wouldn't have been better, but we'll find out. All right, let's go the other way. Let's go for V for Vendetta. Jarvi, we'll start with you again.
Okay, this one I had some fun with now. I want Ed Harris replacing John Standing as Lilliman, the pedophile priest. Yes, sir. I want to see Ed Harris be a complete, disgusting, unforgivable character.
Damn it. Now I got to rethink mine.
Yeah, the same one?
Yep.
Both of you bastards. What do you think of Ed Harris?
I think he would do a great role.
I think he'd play a great pedophile priest.
As much as you hate characters, like I love to hate characters. When someone portrays them in a great way, I love to hate them. So this is what would happen. I would love to hate Ed Harris in that role.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. It's a creepy crawly scene. But you're right. It would be kind of a interesting role to put him in. He would have done a good job at it, of course. All right. What about you, Matty? Do you have enough time? Did you come up with something else? Backup?
Yeah. I managed to pull it. I can't believe I didn't actually think about this. Having him as Mr. Creedy. Having him as Peter Creedy.
Okay.
He's kind of tailor-made for that one.
He is definitely tailor-made for that one as well. Yeah, I like that though. I mean, it definitely, honestly, would have been a better Creedy because I think if there was a lesser role in this film, like a lesser performance, I think Ed Harris would make that one better because the film has a lot of great performances. Creedy is a fine performance, like nothing I would say. I just think Creedy was anything to shout, like from the top of the roof from. Like, I'm not saying he's anything bad. I'm saying he's not like Agnes McFadden or anything, but he's just fine. I mean, Ed Harris would make it better. That's all. So I had a little bit of a fun time with this as well.
Especially with the bit at the end where he's like, "Why won't you die?"
That would have been good. No, that was fine. That would have been great for Ed. Yeah.
Because I shot you from up here. You were down there.
You were down there. So I'm going very different. Very different. That's a good question.
Kind of.
Sean being this movie does spoiler. Might as well be at this time. I think the only time I thought differently was Game of Thrones, and you know how that worked out for us.
Matty doesn't.
Oh, yes, he does.
Fuck.
Yes, he does.
No,
he does. Sean Bean's in the movie or in the show.
I mean, that was my assumption, but thanks for confirming it.
You got it.
It's all good. It's fine.
It's all good.
The show's what, like 10 years old now? It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough to
I can't complain.
It's all good.
I can't complain.
Well, I apologize, but either way. So what I'm going to do instead of doing Creedy, I thought about maybe John Hurt, but John Hurt's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually considered even doing Finch, because you don't see Ed Harrison kind of like in the.
Which one was Finch?
He was the chief inspector.
Right. Oh, yes.
Because you don't see him in that role very often, but he does like some absolute power. He was good. He's great in that as that role. But I decided I'm going to go something different. We're going, considering like some of the concepts of the movie, let's go all out. Instead of Evie, we're having EH.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
EVH, because we're going to have Ed Harris play the role that Natalie Portman was playing. There's going to have to be an older gay couple.
Would you keep the love there? Would you keep the chemistry there?
Absolutely. I'm keeping the chemistry there.
Wait.
We keep moving Ed Harris love affair.
So you're having Ed Harris dress up as a school
Yes.
And Ed Harris as the priest at the same time.
Double roll. That's why he loves it so much. It's like looking into a mirror. I love it. I think Ed Harris would be. He's this older man. He feels like he's tired of life, and Hugo Weaving wakes him to what life really could be like. So
that's a very different movie.
But it does feature some of the great. It's kind of got the themes are there still. I think it's a good, powerful, touching moment. It might make us recast Stephen Fry as well, because then it kind of
you good. No.
Unless you want to have them also.
Yep, as an English man in the chat, you cannot replace great Stephen Fry.
No, I love Stephen Fry. Don't get me wrong. The only idea was that being like that we have the gay man on front. Like we could have both, but I didn't want to like confuse the gay man relationship there. I didn't want to confuse.
You could have a gay relationship there because of the whole undesirables thing, and they don't like that.
Well.
Oh yes.
But part of me also wanted to throw in like Natalie Portman in as like having the young talk show host in a way. That's kind of what I was thinking of. Instead of having a similar dynamic between Ed Harris and Hugo Weaving, have Ed Harris and Stephen Fry, we flipped the dynamic a little bit, having Ed Harris and Hugo Weaving one side, then having Natalie Portman play like a young talk show host in that way. That's the only reason I was thinking about replacing Stephen Fry, because I do love Stephen Fry. But there we go. As a crescendo coming every week. I lost Reefism. My God, I lost Reefism on that. Damn, I don't know. I'm sorry,
you,
brother.
you definitely swung for the fences. You
In the
definitely.
in the 2-minute space between Reefism's comments, we had him, then we lost him.
You know, it is what it is. What can we say? We can't win them all. But speaking of that, what do you guys think? What did you guys think? Who do you think won this week's?
Well, you for sure.
You. There's no question.
Like
You.
that? Okay. Who could
I
First
feel-
off,
I-
with the father of Christian Bale's wife, that was like an actual like a good one. And
Yeah.
this whole switcheroo now, I think you got to get points for being
Yeah.
unique at least.
Okay, good.
I feel very uncomfortable with it, but I agree.
I appreciate that, guys. There you go. I put the poll in the chat. You guys have a couple minutes to tell me who won in the chat, or tell us who won, who was the best fun for you guys. But besides that, we will move on for now to the next game we play before we go into the meat of the show.
Yes.
Matty wants to play the IMDb game.
Yes, the IMDb game, otherwise known as What Are They Known For, is where we take the two leads of the two movies we are discussing, and then we go to the IMDb page. The 4 movies that that those two actors are known for, I'm going to ask Richard to pick 2, Paul to pick 2, and we see which ones they get right. So let's start with Mr. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale from Equilibrium. Were you Hugo Weaving from V, I'm assuming? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Christian Bale from Equilibrium and Hugo Weaving from V for Vendetta. So the 4 movies that Christian Bale would have on his known for an IMDb.
Who starts with these ones?
Paul can start first.
All right, we're gonna pick The Dark Knight for Christian Bale.
Well, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone will. I would as well.
I'll let you take I'll let you take the next 2, Jarvi, because that was such an easy.
Because that's the only one I would have guessed.
Okay.
What the fuck is he known for other than Batman? People would know. I'm just gonna say The Fighter. Fuck it, I'm gonna lose this one. I know.
The Fighter.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bad choice.
I'm gonna lose this one.
American Psycho.
Okay. Jarvi?
Oh, I got another one. Ford v Ferrari.
That's a good choice too, I think.
Nah, it's not a good right one.
Okay,
I'm so pessimistic today.
You both have 1 apiece.
Oh, we do.
You both tied at 1. So he is known for The Dark Knight.
Wait, don't tell us. Don't tell us the other 2 yet. I want to try another guess. I'm going to guess, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm going to guess.
1 more.
I'm going to go with American Hustle.
Joey? 1 more?
One more. So a third one?
Yeah, just because we got 2 we're missing, so we will do another shot at 1. We got 1 apiece.
I'm going to say The Prestige.
Okay. So we got The Dark Knight, The Fighter, American Hustle, and Batman Begins.
Oh, Batman Begins. They go 2 Batman movies. Wow. All right, that's fair.
Okay, so
see, look at that. Christo, good time to watch American Psycho, Richard.
Oh, I do love American Psycho.
I've heard it's good.
You know, me as well.
Have you not seen it?
Well, that was the point of his comment. Yeah, he knows I haven't seen it.
Okay. I just feel like because you're friends, like you may have watched it together, and you might watch again.
All
okay,
right.
let's move on to Hugo Weaving. Jarvi, you can take this one first.
I'm gonna start.
Yeah, you can start with Hugo.
Oh shit! Because there's so many. No, this is the opposite of Christian, but I've got so many good ones. It's so hard to pick. I'm gonna say Transformers.
Okay, I will say V for Vendetta.
I'm gonna say Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay, I'm gonna say The Matrix.
Both tied at 1.
The Matrix. Yeah, The Matrix.
Both tied at 1 again. Wow.
You both tied at 1 again.
Which ones did you get?
You got The Fellowship of the Ring and V for Vendetta.
Okay, we'll do 1 more and see. Only one more
piece.
bonus. I'm gonna go with. Or no, I'm sorry. You go first, Jarvis. Right, I forgot.
Maybe it's the same deal with. No, let me think.
That's a good choice.
What the fuck? There's
That's a good
like
choice.
there's other Transformers. There's other Lord of the Rings. It could be, but all right. I'm gonna say, because how I got burned last time, I'm gonna say Revenge of the Fallen.
Return of the Fallen, or I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go Return of the King.
Yeah, that was my other one.
We'll take this one. It is Return of the King, V for Vendetta, Fellowship of the Ring, and The Two Towers.
That's all three Lord of the Rings.
All three Lord of the Rings films.
That's crazy.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, good game, folks. I can't believe the Matrix is not in there. Yeah, I'm surprised the Matrix isn't in there.
Or Captain America.
Captain America is another good one. Yeah, first.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
First Avenger. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's get into our class action meat of the show, as it were, the trial. We got 5 categories to play with. I'll let you guys take the couple of the leading parts in this, because obviously I've missed some points according to Matty. We got the trial. Got number 1, better dystopian feature / setup. 2, better hero. 3, better action sequences. 4, better villain. 5, better message. Those are the categories that these guys think Equilibrium is going to beat V for Vendetta on.
Is that your takeaway?
That was my
gives
takeaway.
It a more of a fair fight.
That's I don't know about
category.
that. I think you offended me. I'm hurt, and I will. Let's go into category number 1: better dystopian future and setup. Matty, tell me why I'm wrong.
I'm actually going to say you're not wrong for this category.
Okay.
I think V for Vendetta, while the movie has been watered down somewhat from the graphic novel, which is a complete pretty much the anarchist Bible, it certainly played a lot into my anarchist youth. But it's very harrowing how close the United Kingdom is right now to the future painted in V for Vendetta. You have a Home Secretary who is showing up to migrant camps in Chinook helicopters talking about being invaded. You have all this shit going on over here right now, and it's kind of like, wow, they were right all along. Like this, it's scary how close V for Vendetta is to how life in the United Kingdom is over here right now. Like they're talking about, like, journalists are getting arrested for just doing their jobs, and they're talking about new police powers on peaceful protests. And yeah, so for how close they got it, I'm giving this to V for Vendetta.
Okay. Are you saying that it's so bad out there at this point that John Rook is about to blow up Parliament?
No, but I might.
Yeah, fair enough. Probably shouldn't say that on air. That's not a good thing to say. Also,
I'm joking. I'm joking. I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do
get
that.
kicked in about 2 seconds. And all right. What about you, Richard? What do you think?
I think Matty hit it on the head with like V for Vendetta being the more realistic approach. It feels like something tangible and like even subtler. Like he's a dictator for all intents and purposes to remind us of what the terrible tyrants have been like. Like subtler even sounds a little bit like Hitler. Like there's so many like parallels right there. They do give us a brief but an on-point explanation how we got to that situation, which like people turn to extremes when in times of crisis, and we hear about this crisis. Like it started in the U.S. There was an actual, I think it was a pandemic or a virus or something. Then the wars broke out, and then they turned to a dictatorship, which is, but let's take the objectivity out of it. It is the most effective way to run a country, not the correct way, not the right way, not the,
right.
But yeah, you know what I mean. But, and nothing really new in this like sort of depiction of this dystopia. Like Matty said, there's censorship, there's curfews, they're feeding on the poor to satiate the rich. And Equilibrium, on the other hand, is very much like a selfless dystopia, and they very much believe that it is a utopia, which kind of brings in an interesting sort of view to this one, because it is arguable that this is for the sake of the human race, this sort of dystopia, this emotionless way of existence. And in the reality of that movie, they did eradicate war, poverty, and suffering. Sure, there are some sci-fi elements there. Like, I love the way that the clerics like grew out of this doctrine, but if we're talking about which is the more realistic approach, sure, I would give it to V for Vendetta, but I kind of like Equilibrium's dystopian premise better than V for Vendetta because of it actually is trying to do the right thing in a fucked up way, and it kind of achieved what it wanted to do. Again, not the right thing, but it achieved peace and this sort of the way of living is the savior of the human race. There's no wars. People are surviving.
Oh, so Jarvi's choosing the wrong side of this one. Okay, good to know.
I
Good
am.
to know.
The wrong side. Wow.
Did anyone see Equilibrium in the theater? I don't know. Did you
I
guys
did.
see that?
I did.
I didn't.
Yep.
Wow. Now, when you missed my earlier part of the show, I have not seen this until this week, so that's definitely different for me. And real quick, Matty is a gunpowder plot taught in the England school system.
It was when I was a kid. I don't know if it still is. Maybe they've chosen to leave it out, but yeah, we
don't want to
definitely
inspire
learned
anybody.
about it.
You don't want to inspire anybody anymore.
No.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'll fight more for the right side of history again. V for Vendetta wipes the floor with Equilibrium in this, as far as I'm concerned. Equilibrium seems too fake, too crystal, too. I didn't feel anything watching this one, Equilibrium. I thought it was kind of like just a very paint by numbers, vague utopia, dystopia thing. It did nothing for me. I'm not gonna lie. V for Vendetta felt real. It felt earthy. It felt different. Maybe it's the days we're living in today. But I could feel like, maybe watching it with the political upheaval, I don't want to get into politics here, but the political upheaval that's been going on with everything else, it feels like there's a lot more of that tension in the air, just like in V for Vendetta. So I like that quite a bit. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm punishing Equilibrium too much because it is a sci-fi, it is a film, it is a movie and everything else. And maybe I could completely be doing that. And maybe it's just the fact that I was so kind of cold on the movie itself. Which, again, I think I gave like 2.5 stars or something like that, maybe in Letterboxd or whatever. It's not a bad movie. It just, I didn't, if you could have put two up against each other, I like the way that that V makes it feels a lot more tense and real tension than just fake story tension that Equilibrium feels. So I'm going to give this to V for Vendetta as well.
It feels like you're having a hard time sort of separating the category from the actual experience of the movie. So this is not like the way that this future looked, which sort of gave us a quote unquote better dystopian future, but it feels like you're more talking about the movie overall than the dystopian future part.
Perhaps, but for me, that's the setup that I like. When I talk about the setup, I go right from the beginning. This is what this film is offering as a setup for me.
Yeah,
and
I see where you're coming.
And I felt that tension, that setup. Like the setup gave a lot of tension for me from V for Vendetta. The setup for Equilibrium kind of like, okay. All right. Kind of. Okay. So I get what you're saying, but I think that's what was presented to me, and that's how I feel from that. So if you're looking at purely at the setup, like as an on paper without watching the movie, that's what you're looking for. Maybe I'll give you some points there, but to me, the movie's got to show that to me and execute that paper, that setup for it to work for me.
Yeah, that's kind of where I went on paper, sort of trying to separate the movie from that's not the correct or wrong way to do it. It's just
no, we have our
we kind of went our different ways. Yeah.
All right, we're good with that. We'll start next with Better Hero. This was actually not as easy. I think Christian Bale is probably easily the best performance of Equilibrium. However, that being said, the best performance in Equilibrium is like second or third, maybe fourth best in V for Vendetta. Hugo Weaving is definitely better of the two by far. I think that Christian Bale delivers a solid performance, but unfortunately the performance, it's one of those things where like the performance he had to give makes it less powerful than the performance Hugo Weaving had to give. Because Christian Bale did what was asked of him. He performed really well under the set circumstances of the emotionless feel. He did have his moments where he did get very emotional, and that made it even more powerful. So he did a great job. I'm not gonna lie, I do love what he did, and it's probably the most powerful moments in the film, like when he has the dog moment, when he has the moment where he breaks down on the steps And there's always time when he just feels love for the first time. It's a powerful setup for Christian Bale. He does a good job with it. But goddamn, is Hugo Weaving just fun? He's fun, exciting. He gives another great performance himself when he needs to. You can tell that his like whimsies are character that he's kind of it's a mask in and of itself, masking his true emotions. When he does have those moments with Evie, when he does have that moments in the end when he gets to Creedy, he finally gets what he's supposed to be doing. But yet he contrasts it with the beginning. I love the whole alliteration in the beginning. He starts talking about all the V words he uses when he's saving Evie the
Vivified.
And Hugo Weaving just
I used to know that off by heart. I don't know it anymore, but I used to be able to like roll it off the tongue and everything. I can't do it anymore.
That would be fucking sweet if you could.
Ferocious and vicious. Something.
That's so good. So I have to give the nod to V for Vendetta, but I will say if someone did pick Christian Bale's character, I wouldn't. I could see why.
Well, I think I'll take them because I'm going to pick John Preston. I feel like John Preston had more of a hero's journey than V did. V is very much, he has his eyes set on his goal, his mission, what he wants to accomplish, and absolutely nothing will stop him from doing it. With John Preston, we see he's very much I don't want to say company man, but he's very much the tool of the government. He's a grammaton cleric. They took him from a child. They drugged him. They trained him to be this killer that, if things had gone another way, he probably wouldn't, he probably didn't want to be that. But he spent it speaks to throwing young children into institutions and grooming them from birth to become tools of a corporation or a government. And then one of the most powerful moments for me is when he hears Beethoven for the first time. And he puts the needle, you hear the crackle of the record, and he just absolutely just starts breaking down in tears just from hearing Ludwig van Beethoven. And then you see the flashbacks with his wife and his kid, and he smiles. He sees his wife with his children, and he smiles. So there's like the cracks are there. They've always been there. But then after his wife got taken away, he just completely shut down. And then we have Emily Watson's character. She starts to remind, like he has the ribbon with the scent on it, and she starts to remind him of his wife. And then that's when we get John Preston come to life as I'm going to get into the belly of the beast and I'm going to kill this from the inside. And I feel that's more of a hero's arc than V had, because we always knew what V wanted to do. We always knew what V's mission was and how he was going to go about it.
It's a good argument. I'm not going to lie. It's a good argument. And like I said, I do feel that Christian does a good job. So I do appreciate your choice there. I won't say you're entirely wrong, but you're wrong.
Respectfully, you're wrong.
Respectfully, you're wrong. All I know is the only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta. Good point there, Euphism. I like that. All right, Jarvi, take us home. Are you on the right side of history or the wrong side of history?
The reason why I started laughing, I'm so sorry, it's nothing you said, Matty. It's because when you started talking about Beethoven, for some reason, out of the blue, I remembered the Family Guy scene where Ludwig van Beethoven goes, da, 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 da. Like, that is such a fucking dumb scene.
That's
Beethoven going, it's a good theme. Da, da, da. And it started playing in my head. I couldn't focus on what you were saying, so I apologize. It was nothing you said.
Okay.
It was just this fucking
dumb. It's a
dumb
funny
moment
episode, so I get why that popped in your head would make you laugh.
Yeah, and I think V is one of the greatest heroes we've gotten on screen ever, in a comic book movie and in an action movie, in a dramatic movie, which one this definitely is as well. I think he's iconic. He's super charismatic. He's intelligent. He's a badass who fights for the people, fights for chaos, fights for freedom. And I would say this is Hugo Weaving's best performance of his career. And it's not even his face. He's not even face acting. It's body acting. It's voice acting. The way he speaks, he brings more character than any face actor that I've seen. And I think it's important to talk about another character in this one as well, because a better hero, V cannot be separated from Evie in this instance. I feel they're the two sides of the same coin. Even her name, it's Evie. She's sort of the soul of the movie, whereas he's the tool, and I think Evie is the soul, sort of the yin to his yang. And her performance, her accent. So Matty, tell me, how is her British accent? To me, it sounded really damn good.
Natalie Portman's, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and that a lot of times, British accents on American actors.
You can tell that they filmed the shot in order, because at the start it was a bit shaky, but then as the film went on, she kind of
got better.
Like settled more into a London accent.
It's funny. I got to be honest with you. This is maybe my own personal. I have a hard time picking out horrible accents necessarily. Like I kind of have always just given myself. Maybe it's because maybe British accents wouldn't bother me because I don't have like the specifics of what is like. Matty, you live there, obviously. You know exactly what they're supposed to sound like.
And there are so many British accents. Like you got mine, which is like very more like, I don't want to say well spoken, but like I speak a lot more clearly than say someone from Liverpool that fucking talks like this. And it's just like the Scouse accent, and you have the Scottish accent, you have the Northern accent. There's so many different accents.
I heard a Newcastle accent yesterday.
Oh, okay.
What's a Newcastle accent?
Why, hey, lad?
Oh.
Yeah, Daniel Sloss and Kai Humphries came to Estonia. They did a stand-up. Yeah, it was a pretty good accent right there.
Interesting.
But yeah, I got to give credit to Equilibrium and Christian Bale as well. I think the problem with, so no surprise I'm giving this one for V for Vendetta. The problem with Christian Bale's performance, and it's not really a problem. We just know what Christian Bale will amount to in his career. So everything that he keeps doing is way better than Equilibrium. Equilibrium is a fine performance. I think it's a strong, badass performance physically and emotionally. It is subtle. It has some nuance there. And I don't know. I think with time, the fact that we know how damn good Christian Bale is, this performance kind of falls flat now. And it's weird because we've seen characters like that. We know this story. So if I put V for Vendetta against Equilibrium at the time when I saw both movies for the first time, this would have been way closer. So I know this is sort of not fair for Equilibrium, but we got to give credit to Christian Bale with his fight sequences. You can tell he's fucking doing those things, and that character looks badass. So got to give him a lot of credit there, but V just takes it.
Fair enough. On the right side of history. Good job, Jarvi. Good job for you. I will say, it's funny. I almost feel like we should have had a category, better use of a classical piece of music. Beethoven versus War of 1812 Overture. God, and it still would have been V for Vendetta winning. Still would have won it for me. But
stop trying to rig the vote.
I'm not going to.
Yo, Matty, let's give everything to Equilibrium now, just because.
We're in the villain.
I will fire both of you, and we'll take this home myself.
We're in the villain category next.
All right. Well, better action sequences first. All right, better action sequences. I will. Good. I'll take this first. I know what Matty's going to say. I know. I kind of almost feel like Jarvi's going to say this too. I'm still giving it to V.
You are out of your mind.
I'm giving it to V. I had more emotions out of that than I think the action sequences in Equilibrium are good. They're solid. They also felt like a music video, and I felt no emotion during them at all. I felt like it was a music video. The action sequences are best when I feel the emotion behind the action. And I just saw for this one, I kind of just felt like, okay, here we are. It's dance time with guns. That's what we're gonna do, and they're good. It's good choreography. It's great. I mean, they're doing stuff like
I'm clipping.
And and then the whole thing, the clip. I mean, they did some cool stuff with gun kata. I'm not gonna lie, absolutely cool stuff. But I couldn't. The best of the best gun kata. I saw like, So I'm watching the Matrix scene at the end where they go into the hotel or they go to the building, and it's the trench room lobby sequence all over again. They just can't do it nearly as good, so we're just going to put this forth. And we're trying to add some gun kata, make it a little cooler. This is our difference. We're a big different movie now. This is not the same thing at all. We're not going to rip this off at all. And I couldn't get past any of that in my head. So I'm kind of like watching, going, That's cool. Hugo Weaving's dances of death, the knife throwings, the way he was slashing through like it was like a fucking ballet. The big action sequence, the big explosion at the end with the War of 1812 overture. Dun, 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 boom! Fireworks and everything else going up. People coming through. That's action that meant something to me. I loved that. Those action sequences by far. Wiped floor with his little. Clip. Done. Move on. Go ahead.
Fucking clip this, Matty. Dude, you gotta clip this. Oh my god, this was the best.
Passion, sorry. Well, go ahead.
You're telling me that fucking hallway scene as he's going to confront Agnes McFadden, where he throws the 2 cartridges down and he runs in and he just like he starts shooting everyone, and then he rolls forward, reloads the guns, and then just continues shooting. And then there's the automatic rifle that's like laying on the dead body. Fucking throws it, goes it over the shoulder, and then just takes out like everyone around it. That is some of the sickest shit I've ever. Oh, it's so good. And the bit like he takes out the 2 guards in front of the door, and then all of the resistance come out behind him, and he like tells them to run, and he's got like 5 or 6 guards all around him. So what does he do? He has the 2 because he doesn't want to expose his bullets. He takes out the 4 pins on the handles of the gun and just proceeds to beat the absolute living dog shit out of all of the guards around. Yes, these was amazing with the throwing knives and blah, blah, blah. But looking at the choreography, I'm looking at like straight, you guys know how I view fight scenes differently. Looking at the choreography to do all of that for Christian Bale to like do all of that himself, that's fucking incredible.
It's a metal cover of a rock song versus an original piece of music. That's the difference. Exactly. So we're basically covering a better song and just doing it a little bit of a different way and adding some flourishes.
Yep.
Or taking a whole new piece of original content and going, this is a new fucking legendary.
I didn't see any pins come out of Neo's guns.
Yeah, that's the remix. That's the extra guitar part that's thrown in there because we need to make it different.
When they're in the nether and he does like the backflip with the 2 guns, and then it turns out that he's using Tay Diggs' guns because he knew all along that he was going to set up Tay Diggs.
I'm fucking shocked that Christian Bale just look at the camera and go, whoa.
You know, Keanu Reeves would have actually been, I think, more suited for Christian Bale's role. I think Christian Bale was like too good of an actor for this role because he doesn't get to show it.
That's because it was written for Keanu Reeves.
Right. Was it?
Because it was written to basically be the Matrix.
I feel like if Will Smith took the role of Neo, Keanu may have taken the role as John Preston.
And the world would have been a worse place for it. I'll play that much.
I'm uncomfortable talking about Will Smith. I don't know.
Matt, I'm going to slap the shit out of you.
Does it still feel like a raw slap in the face to you, Jarvi, whenever we bring him up?
Yeah, so hurts.
Keep Will Smith's name out your mouth.
Oh, let's keep him out of our mouths for a while. Wow.
Right side, wrong side, Jarvi. What do you think?
I think this category is where Equilibrium gets to shine. It's the gun kata, it's the firefight, it's the hand-to-hand combat. Like the final sword fight is fucking amazing. Like the way it's unique, it's perfect. It kind of gets ruined by the fact that he fights another villain at the end. It was perfect. He defeats the villain with like 1 stroke. Then he goes on to fight Angus McFadden. Why did that happen? That was like the perfect, like no action movie did that. Like it was so great how he defeated Tay Diggs. But I kind of took it. The moment was kind of inflated with the fact that they still gave us a boss fight with like swords. Like because the dude was not even a cleric.
He was a cleric. He was a cleric before he became I missed the hand
part.
Of the father or whatever the fuck they call it.
Not surprised. I probably dozed off during that part. Go ahead, Jarvi.
I missed that part, but the fact that we got to talk about gun kata. The way they depicted it in the movie Equilibrium, it had me Google is gun kata real?
They cut like
actually there was like
moments
where I was, Does it work? And I fucking Googled it. It's in my Google history now. That's how well they portrayed it. V for Vendetta had way less action than I remembered. But
Like,
there is a big
really
hairy
exciting.
butt coming around the corner. This movie has one of the greatest fist bumps ever. It's the very start of the movie, the 1812 Tchaikovsky overture. It's not an action scene when someone's fighting. It's just building is blowing up, and it's one of the greatest feelings you ever get. It is such a perfect.
How do you think I feel watching it?
Right?
I can imagine.
And about like V's fighting, they sort of gave V that sense like Captain America Winter Soldier, the Russo brothers gave Captain America. You felt the punches, you felt his strength, his superiority. When V fights the thugs on the streets when they're hassling Evie, he sort of just fucking goes through them easily, and you feel every punch. You feel that raw power. And the TV station fight scene, I felt the Dark Knight kind of took some stuff from that one. It was an awesome action scene. And the final fight in the sewers, where V goes just with his knives blazing, that's where the comic book aspect came in. Like the knives started to sort of do the kind of a Matrix thing with it kind of swish through the air.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
So this is going to be for Vendetta. Sorry.
You're going for Vendetta? Yes, baby.
I thought it was obvious. I'm going with
Jarvi,
V for Vendetta.
On the right side of
Equilibrium.
history.
Equilibrium did the gun kata thing, but the ending, the final fight with fucking Angus, the swords, it inflated the great moment that it set up.
You're putting
Deflated,
that over
deflated,
the
not inflated. Deflated. It's my fucking English.
You're putting that over the moment at the start where he
Deflated.
just fucking kicks the door in and then just starts shooting. Like they're all shooting at him.
Awesome
but
scene.
They all fucking miss, and he's just like.
Mhm.
It doesn't. It's
even
not
see
better.
them.
It's not better than the scene where V comes through the smoke, where all the others are dressed like him, and then he stands behind the fucking guards. It's just like, that's him. That's him, and you get this. You get this thrill. He's gonna fuck him up. So every scene that Equilibrium had, I feel like V for Vendetta has a better one in reserve.
The power behind the action. That's what matters. Not
And-
just the action. Action is nothing if you don't have the power and emotion behind the action.
The midsection of V for Vendetta, it's a hard drama. It's like a prison drama that just happens, and then we go back to the action. And it fucking kills.
That's
again.
it too. Also, there's a lot of action. It's pretty much an action movie almost all the way throughout. When V for Vendetta saves its action, when it has less action, but when it does have its action. And like that, Equilibrium's gone.
We still got two categories to go.
Yeah, we do. I know. I'm willing to victory at this point. You know, Refism, if Refism was in here, he'd be voting with you, man. Matt, that's all I gotta say.
Wow.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Cool. I'm getting a vote that doesn't count. Awesome.
It is what it is. What can I say? All right, let us go on to the next category. Better villain. This is not a spoiler, so I will definitely take this one first. Fuck Angus McFadden. Move on. I mean, I got so annoyed. I was already
because you hate him so much.
No, I'm bored by him. That's the thing. I'm bored by him. Give me any of the. I said Creedy was the guy I'd replace in V for Vendetta. I would take Creedy 10 times, 7 days a week, twice on Sunday over Angus McFadden. I got so pissed off at Equilibrium when it was revealed. That's what I'm looking for. I'm so angry I can't even talk. It's revealed that Sean Pertwee's been dead the entire time. I was looking forward to seeing Sean Pertwee. Like, Sean Pertwee, there's a guy with some charisma. There's a villain I can get behind. That's really an awesome scene. Wait, it's not. He's already dead. It's all we have left is fucking Angus McFadden. Fuck this guy. Fuck this movie. I'm done. I am out. Kill this guy quick. Get him out of my fucking TV screen.
This is gonna be one of our lowest viewed episodes, but it's got the best PLD in this. This is best I've ever seen PLD.
At the start, I was kind of like, okay, I'm dreading this, but now like Paul's made this ass kicking entertaining.
Well, I wish it's better than Equilibrium can say.
This is like Paul saying, I'm going to kick you in the nuts and you're going to smile at me and like it. Like Paul's kicking me in the nuts and I'm smiling at it.
Can I just pile on with PLD's point and then you can continue?
Yeah.
And there's Taye Diggs, who keeps smiling throughout the fucking movie. Why does he keep smiling when he's not feeling anything? Why is he like that? It annoyed the shit out of me. He's a cool actor, so miscast and so misdirected in this role.
Yes, 110%. And the other side, you have Sean Pertwee from the character above, who doesn't even exist, and then you put him up against John fucking Hurt, who is fucking slimy and creepy and crawly, and what a performance by him!
Disgusting,
disgusting performance by him. Oh God! And then and that's not even counting the villainous fucking pedophile priest, which you already talked about. Even the little villains are good in this one. Even like. They make you feel creepy. They make you feel slimy. They make you feel disgusting. And other things make you want to just turn off the movie. For equilibrium, you just want to turn off the movie, move on. This is why it's easily V for Vendetta for me.
There's oh yeah, let Matty.
No, Jarvi, you say you were already coming on board with Jarvi. You're gonna, you might as well continue, Jarvi. Actually,
go on, Jarvi.
All right, I agree with what you said about John Hurt. I think Creedy, played by Tom Pickett-Smith, he was fucking amazing. He was perfect. He was the shit weasel to Sutler. And there's Louis Prothero, played by Roger Allam, who is another disgusting, vile character who's just like in the shower. Do you see him showering? He's speaking his own lines. He's looking in the TV. He's fist pumping himself. He's you just love to hate him. He's the fucking Joffrey of V for Vendetta.
Wait, he's in the shower fist bumping himself. That just sounds wrong.
he very well could have. He very well could have. And there is another character in V for Vendetta who is. I'm gonna talk about her in the villain section because Sinead Cusack, who played Delia Sturridge, she was one of she was the one who created V, who did the experiments, and she's a character that gets redeemed, but she still gets the treatment of a villain, and it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, and it was beautiful at the same time. And I was watching V for Vendetta with my friend, and I was like, fucking V just went through with that kill, even though she was sorry. You felt like she didn't deserve it. He still went through with it because he sees his ideas through. And that was like sort of, it was
he
like
accepted the apology. He accepted the apology.
He did.
But
he did.
And then
but
did it
still
anyway.
gently killed her, which kind of sounds like I'm a fucking
You guys
psychopath.
say he's a
But it was a
better
beautiful
hero.
moment. It was a beautiful moment. Equilibrium, has the rope-a-dope switch of the villain. I didn't mind it as much as you did. I think Sean Pertwee is an okay actor. He does nothing for me. I think Angus McFadden is actually more of a enjoyable shit weasel. But Brandt, played by Taye Diggs, that is my fucking issue with this movie. He's an awesome-looking dude. He can play badass characters. He could have played an awesome villain. Why the fuck does he keep smiling when he can't feel? He doesn't. Smiling is an emotion. It's what is happening? Why is he like that? It annoyed the fuck out of me.
Because he probably is feeling. He's probably a sense offender himself. I mean, you see it when he gets found out and like they're pulling him out and he's like, "This is a mistake." Like he's yelling, he's angry, he's feeling.
Right.
So
well,
that should obviously be a moment where you're like,
that's probably something that should have been explored by the movie.
Yeah, but that actually could have worked, but they sort of switch it around. Like he was, what's the word? He was sort of playing that he was a sense like that was also like a double cross by the character Brandt, right? To make Preston feel like he won, and then he comes back later and he's like, "Oh, it was all planned." Yeah, I feel like I'm hating on Equilibrium. I don't hate it as much, but V for Vendetta just has the better villains.
Speaking of Equilibrium, how can you waste William Fichtner like that? All right, go ahead, Matty. What's your better villain?
I think that you guys are giving Agnes McFadden that he's exactly what he's supposed to be. He's the barrier between the.
He's cool. He's cool.
He's the barrier between the church and state. Like he is that big. We're looking at the screen, this like giant false idol that everyone praises and goes to. See,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
This is why I got put up with Jesus. I was gonna go on a whole actual decent point that I had all written out, but I'm just gonna give it to V for Vendetta because Sutler, and I'm just gonna say this directly to the camera. Sutler is Boris fucking Johnson to a T.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
It's the same fucking person. So, fuck the Tories. That's my message.
There you go. I like that. I
Going
mean,
political on class action.
we're gonna try not to do that very often, but it's kind of hard when you're actually discussing this film, which says something about the film. I think actually that's how powerful it is.
Raises a good point. It raises a lot of talkative points.
True. All right. The final closing out the category is better message. Better message. Matty, why don't you start this one? You ended this last one. Let's start with you with this one.
I feel like both of these have a very important message. They both have very similar messages of, the dystopian future and how we should be very mindful of how we proceed going forward. But there's the worshipping the false idols and the media in equilibrium, where it's just like everyone is watching the same thing. You walk in the streets today, everyone's looking at a screen of some kind, whether it be a TV or the phone. Like everyone is glued to something on a screen. In equilibrium's case, it's messages from the father. You have the opioids that they are injecting into them, which it completely numbs them of all emotion, which is another crisis that we deal with every day. Like we're just not only are we pumping ourselves full of chemicals, but we are completely numbing ourselves of all emotion. Nothing really surprises us anymore. Like you have all these atrocities going on and nothing is really a surprise. And then you have V for Vendetta, where it's just like totalitarian, all these undesirables and, migrants and, queer people. And yeah, it's just disgusting. And yet you read the news and it feels like we're going down a very dangerous road. And this is a tough one, but I think I kind of have to give it to. I gotta give it a V for Vendetta.
Well, that's a very fair, righteous.
PLD, you're supposed to be. You have the purpose of being one of the. What do you say? One of the counselors, but you're also the jury. So you gotta try to at least act like you're unbiased.
It's fine. I got this when we did Gandalf versus Yoda.
I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared for this one. I gotta be honest with you. Again, usually a lot of times I've seen both the movies, or at least ones, or I know what we're talking about. This was a complete cold, but I liked. Actually, enjoyed doing that because it was not something I get to do very often. So I do appreciate that. Unfortunately, it just didn't go Equilibrium's way for that case. Jarvi, why don't you? I'll close this out. Why don't you tell us what your favorite better message is?
I think V for Vendetta had a clear-cut message to me. It was sort of. It's something that we've heard governments and politicians say before, and mostly from the side of the people. And people say people shouldn't be afraid of their government. Governments should be afraid of the people. I feel like V for Vendetta sort of gave us exactly that message. It gave us like current political landscapes and current themes. They gave us situations, how these kinds of people rise to power. But Equilibrium had a much more elusive point, which is to its strength. I feel like it kind of negated its own point, and I'm not sure it did that on purpose, because if you think about Equilibrium, sort of anarchy and chaos exist. Like people, like anarchy and chaos defeats this sort of soulless existence. People take over, the mob takes over, they sort of save themselves. So they overthrow the government that was created to save the human race. So the human race destroys the thing that wants to save them. So this gave me a very interesting point.
This is saving them if it's taking away the very way of life.
Right, but the very way of life is doomed to fail. That was the point of the movie. So it was a very ironic point, and it still makes me think to this day. I think if the movie wanted to make this point, this would go to Equilibrium. I think the message kind of is more exciting and more elusive, whereas V for Vendetta is kind of clear cut, which is fine. I love the movie V for Vendetta better but as a message, Equilibrium made me think of the sort of ironic way of humanity. I don't know if I went too deep. Let me know.
No. That was the whole point of why I suggested this category. I wanted us to have these conversations.
Fair enough.
I'm going with Equilibrium.
Okay, so Jarvi's wrong, and we'll end up with this battle. I don't care about the message, and the message for Equilibrium to me was feelings are good.
Yeah,
okay. They're great. Okay, I got it. V for Vendetta actually has messages that are like need to be talked about, need to be speculated about, need to be. I feel the message is stronger, much stronger, delivered in V for Vendetta. Equilibrium's messages are basically like they're thrown out there, and then let's confuse you or let's distract you a little bit of gun kata. Feelings. Hey, I got nothing. I mean, sure. Equilibrium's got a great message. Sure, I'll give it to you. It's got a great message. But V for Vendetta execution is so much better than V for Vendetta's, and then Equilibrium's trying to do their best. So I'm not going to go more any further, or else I'll just start I piss Matty off too much. I'll throw out there Ride Pain saying both movies, in my opinion, are amazingly on point with social commentary and government and society created. Yeah, they're good at what they do. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, they're fine. But yeah, I'm going to guess V for Vendetta. I don't think I have anything more to say about it. I don't want to bash Equilibrium any more than I already have. So I'm done. I've already dropped my mic a long time ago, I think.
Who did it better? PLD talking about Equilibrium or Matty talking about Moonfall? Who did it better?
Oh. The thing is, Paul went on full blown rage. I was more like a sniper, just snarky. The comments waiting for them to come up.
Definitely different styles. Different styles. I've always been louder and prouder when I'm raging now. It's funny. We do always talk about how we like to be positive on the show, and how we like to always talk positive things, and we do, and it's something I do hold dear. But every once in a while, it feels fun to just kind of get my rage out on something that every once in a while it's nice.
It feels like you've been building up to this. This has always been therapeutic for you.
I do feel a little better after doing this after a while. I watched the movie and it felt really dead inside. I was really whatever. I don't know what to think about this. I think, but now I got here. I'm looking into let's just channel it all out and get it out there. The battle is over.
If you wonder call it who battle. Could it be? What movie won? What could it be?
Come on, Equilibrium.
The right side of the law, the right side of justice won. 11-4.
Oh God, I thought it would be
V for Vendetta, sliced and diced, and Equilibrium went up to the War of 1812 overture. Fireworks galore. The crowd goes wild. Right. All right, there it is. That's where we have it.
And if you guys want, I can take us out on the. I have it in front of me. The V quote. I can do it if you guys want.
You should.
Please do.
But you know what? Before I do that, let's talk about everything else we got to talk about. We'll pitch some stuff. We'll plug some stuff, and then we'll do it. Matty, where can the folks find you? You
can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner, and you can find my band Mourner on all streaming platforms. Our new song Hope Fell Silent is out now, and I've actually started work on the next one, which kind of inspired by Andor.
Oh, cool. Definitely not inspired by Equilibrium, I would think.
Oh, wow. It's already down and it's dead. Why you keep kicking it?
That's true. I'm sorry. I should stop.
I bet if we added Ed Harris into Equilibrium, it'd be PLD's favorite movie.
Well, when you and me, Matty, are doing something on Class Action, PLD's not there. Let's put Ed Harris versus another actor and just fucking demolish him.
I would delete that episode from the internet.
We would never do that.
All right, Richard, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi. You cannot find me on Twitter, although you can find me on my main active on there, but you can find me on Letterboxd. So look me up on Letterboxd, follow me, and I will follow you back. I love to see those little scores.
I need to update, man. I've done so many that I haven't actually logged.
I have to do more Letterboxd too. I love my Letterboxd. I have so many lists. It's a great thing. You can find me there. You can also find me on Twitter at Paul_DiNuzzo. I am on Instagram. I forget what I am on Instagram because I don't use it very often. I'll be honest with you.
Paul _ DiNuzzo.
Is it Paul _ DiNuzzo there too? All right,
I think it is.
There you go. You can find me also patreon.com/PLD projects. Join us on the Patreon if you want more of this kind of content. Try to do some extra content, some hangouts, great Facebook chat we got going on there. Specifically want to shout out Danielle Ramirez, Brendan Buckingham, Brady Parker, Jeff Alterman, John Lastrina, Kelly W, and everybody else as well. You keep the lights on. You let us continue on this great journey that we do. We call PLD Projects. Class action every week. Class action retro coming up. I mentioned that before, and you haven't seen it brought up because I've decided to upload them all. And then I'm gonna just like make them all public at once when I have the full playlist uploaded. It might take a little bit because I just take the time to do all the uploads. It'll be coming. We are getting the old class action up on the podcast feed slowly but surely as well. We got a couple of episodes up already. Another one's gonna be uploaded today. Another older retro version. Let me go check out real quickly which episode is
the class action case closed.
Case action class closed. That's right. I believe.
Oh yeah, and we are also now on Instagram as well. If you follow Class Action Podcast, and I believe PLD, I think we got new merch up. We
do. We have the T Public. We have three new. So we have the PLD Projects. We have Class Action. We also have 2 Mediocre White Dudes on Film, which is my podcast with PJ Campbell, and we got a new episode coming out tomorrow for that. 2 Mediocre White Dudes on The Shining. That was a very fun episode to talk about. A very good movie to talk about. Me and PJ go back and forth for a while. A lot of love into The Shining as well as Dr. Sleep. PJ's so excited to talk about Dr. Sleep he couldn't stop talking about it. I'm like, that's for next week, dude. But he can't stop PJ once he's going. Yes. And also finally, of course, Crown Jewels, my journey through Queen. This week's episode is the non-album B-side, See What a Fool I've Been, the first non-album B-side we're talking about for Queen. Almost done with Queen 2, going to get to Sheer Heart Attack next, which is another great album by the band. So, yeah, a lot of fun there, guys. But once again, if you're new here and you did like what you see, please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up button. Get us up in the algorithm. We're actually getting some points. We got 302 subscribers now, which is very exciting for me. Very happy for me. I actually never worried about subscribers before, and I don't worry about it, but it was nice to see a big uptick recently. So I'm hoping that you guys are liking what you're seeing and you'll come back for more. And it's also good seeing our views go up for Class Action as well at times. So good times there. But until next time, is that all I have to say? Jarvi? Is there anything else I have to say?
Just let it fall.
Let's keep your hand up there for a while. Let's see what happens. Justice is served, my friends. Court is adjourned. Bye.
Oh, PJ